So I'm going to discuss now a little bit more about the old compound piece with the differences between how AI systems used to be and where they're going with this agentive AI approach. So the old school compound, I say old school, but it's still being done today, is something called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. This is a programmatic control logic that is used and is specifically defined by the developer. They're used to basically guide the AI constructs by this programmatic control logic. They want to get to a certain output, and they're very specific with how they do it, and it produces, they hope, a specific type of output. What does agentive AI then really mean? Is you're taking these older compound AI systems and you're breaking them up into subcomponents. It could be even an LLM, a large language model. You're still allowing them to do what they would normally do in the larger compound AI system, but they're doing separate tasks. So you're allowing them to think about a problem, and then instead of just simply acting on it immediately, taking the question, producing an output, you can actually allow these agentive AI systems to think about it. And there was talk about thinking fast and thinking slow. So you're still allowing them to do their normal outputs to produce what they think an answer is, but then also to look at their own answer and to see whether or not improvements can be made on their first attempt, like an iterative approach, as they do in SDLC development. So it allows them to actually take more time, but also to adapt to their own answers and perhaps even improve upon their initial responses. This is one way that agentive AI systems can function. And then in addition to that, this is where that additional power comes in, where the AI agents are able to tie into our own personal data to really personalize the responses that we are asking for. So especially when it has to do with my schedule or things about creating a style of response, for example, in an email, these systems will be able to better do those things when they're able to have access to my own emails, to have access to my own data, so that they can literally pick up my own style as to how I do things, or to know my specific schedule so I can create specific responses to my queries or to my questions. For the agentive AI as well, when it comes to this modular design, they can also look for specific tools that may be needed to answer a very specific question. So again, by analyzing the answer that they have created in the first place, they can now see what other tools could I use here to get additional information. And this again can come back to access. They may say, I'm trying to create something for the person having to do with scheduling. I need access to their calendar. Or it can say they're traveling to another location. I need access to the weather database for that particular location. So it will then, on its own, determine I need that data, request that data, and if it has access to that data, utilize that data as a part of its response. These agentive AI systems are very, very powerful in the way that they separate out tasks. They use whatever tools are necessary that they have access to produce solutions. And with all this power comes great responsibility. So this is where, as a cybersecurity professional, have concerns about where they are getting this data, what access they have, what access they should have, especially when it comes to our own personally identifiable information, what they can do with that personally identifiable information. What if another AI system wants my information? How do we make sure that it doesn't just get that information instantly? How do we make sure that whatever that information is, the AI system understands that this is sensitive information and that it should only be used in certain ways? Should it queue to me as the user, in order for me to answer this question, I need access to something that's personal to you, and I give permission for this? These are all different types of questions as security professionals that we should be talking about. We should be communicating to AI developers. We should be using all the resources that we have together as a community to come together and help to make sure that these very powerful systems are able to stay in a reasonable state of control and reduce the risk and increase the security of these systems for all AI development worldwide.